Good evening everybody and welcome to the first round of the Weldmech Porsche Supercup 2023 series. The round 1 is coming to you live from the Imola Grand Prix circuit in Italy. Drivers are heading out on their qualifying, so we'll catch up with them shortly. We're just going to do a very quick build-up. We've had a few delays with this championship, so we're finally underway. So thank you very much to our championship sponsor Weldmech. So you can head over to www.facebook.com/welding mechanic to find out more about Peter Murray's welding services, fabricating services. He offers various things. So the championship, this of course is round 1. We will have multiple classes. So in the championship we will have a pro class and a veterans class. So when you see the live timings on the left hand side, any driver with a red is part of the pro class, any driver with a yellow is part of the veterans class. They compete for the same overall championships, but the veterans also have a veterans championship. So a veteran can come, let's say 10th, and if he is the top veteran, he will get first place in the veterans, but he'll get 10th overall. So look out for the different classes, and you can support your drivers if they're perhaps in the veterans class. Then our schedule for the championship, we have 10 rounds. Each round will have 2 races. So for tonight we have Imola. We will have the qualifying. Currently it's a 30-minute qualifying session, so the drivers have plenty of time to get a nice clean lap in. We then have 2 30-minute races. The qualifying session will set the grid for both races. So they have 1 qualifying session, 2 races. So if they have a mistake or an issue in race 1, they can at least have a second attempt at race 2. We have 10 rounds, so that would be a total of 20 races in the championship. Round 1 will be Imola Grand Prix circuit, then round 2 we'll head to the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. So that will be a street circuit, quite a challenging track for the drivers. Round 3 will then be the Kyalami circuit in South Africa. Then we head over to Silverstone in the UK. Then it's the Nürburgring in Germany. Then it's Spa in Belgium. Then it's Suzuka in Japan. Then it's Zandvoort in Netherlands. Montreal in Canada. And then the final round, I guess the Cathedral of Speed, a Monza circuit in Italy. The point system for this series, both race 1 and race 2, the drivers in the same tally of points. So P1 will get 25 points, P2 18, P3 15, P4 12, P5 10, P10 will get 8, P7 6, P8. There's a bit of a problem there, sorry. That is correct. P8 will be 4, P9 2, and P10 1. So the top 10 get points. You also get an extra 2 points for the pole position and 2 points for fastest lap in both races. So if one driver gets fastest lap in race 1 and the other driver gets it in race 2, they both get their 2 points for the specific race that they got the fastest lap in. Alright, so perhaps now we can head live into our qualifying session. Currently on board, I believe it is with Stanton. So this is the official qualifying session live. Qualifying session for the first round of the championship. Round 1 coming to you live from Imola Grand Prix circuit. Once again, thank you very much to the Weldmech team for sponsoring this championship. They are our title sponsor. So you can head over to Weldmech and speak to Peter Murray, see what he can do for you. I'm sure you could manufacture anything you need. Right, let's get everything up and running here. I'm going to just, while we are watching an onboard at the moment, hopefully I can get myself all in order here. Get our timing up. And get everything running. I'm a little bit rusty. We haven't not done a stream in a while. Right, we slowly catch up the drivers. Let's get our towers up so we can see who is currently where. Right, we see Stanton on the lap at not his personal best. Currently the weather on the server we have, I'm not sure why that's not showing. It would help if I speak of being rusty, it would help if we have the right screen showing, wouldn't it? Apologies for that. Alright, so that was a bit of a blind moment, so real apologies for that. The weather on the track at the moment, we have 27 degrees Celsius, 81 degrees Fahrenheit, track temperature 47 degrees, humidity is currently 34, wind speed of 7 degrees, and it is southeast. So the weather hopefully won't become an issue. It should stay dry throughout the meeting, but we'll keep an eye on that. Right, so driver currently on a good lap. We have Yandre Duppenau, I believe, just at a personal best in the middle sector. Unfortunately, his first sector was not his best time. As we can see on the timings, we have lots of red, 1 or 2 yellows. Dirk is in a blue. That is just because Dirk doesn't have his skin loaded. That is just myself. I hadn't had time to add his skin. So that next week will be changed. So Dirk will become red. We should have, I believe, 4 drivers entered in the veterans class currently. I think only 3 of them are here tonight. I believe it's Marius van Wyk, it's Gavikos, and Andre Hildebrandt. Hilko Veronica is not here yet tonight, so I'm not sure if he will be joining, but currently 3 veterans in the race, and the rest are all in the pro class. Right, so let's now get everything up and running. Hopefully I'm over my rustiness. Right, watching Sean Johnson currently on track. Personal best first sector, personal best second sector. Sean driving for the Swim Experience team. His teammate is Rian van der Westhuizen. Sean, of course, one of the drivers that's been with Swim Experience the longest. He was with us when we started. Right, where does he come across the line? Currently 13th place. Where will he jump up to? As we wait patiently, he jumps up to 12th place. So a slight improvement. He wasn't very fast in the final sector, so hopefully will improve in his next laps. Right, Donnie Stundo, another driver that's been with us a fair time. Not his best first sector. Let's see if he can improve in the middle sector. Looks like he ran slightly off track there. I'm not sure if that will give him any kind of penalty. So currently we have 23 drivers on track. We have, Donnie gets a little bit too loose over the curb there. And right behind him we have Gerrit. I believe Gerrit is in outlap, so we will jump to Gerrit shortly. Gerrit is one of the pace setters so far. It looks like Gerrit and Jean-Andre de Toy are the 2 drivers setting the pace. Alright, so Donnie not on for his best time. So perhaps we can jump to Gerrit because he's likely to... He actually is in the first sector. I thought he was further back. Apologies for that. So, team full throttle. Sector 1. Will he set the pace? It looks like he's rolled out of it. Not sure if he's camera shy. Definitely rolled out of it. The first sector should be in the mid-20s. That's definitely not a fast sector. So perhaps we can head over to Sean Olivier. In sector 1 he's not gone as fast as he has been. Part of the Thorax racing team. His teammate is Monet Deploy. Right, fastest for personal sector 2 is his personal best time. Hopefully everyone in the YouTube channel can hear all audio levels okay. So, good evening to everyone in the YouTube channel. We have Sabine Kreev saying good luck to Donovan Vermaak. We have Samir Bierkes saying Sundays have been so boring, so hopefully this Sunday is a bit better. And of course we have Mariki Hildebrandt saying good luck Andre. Alright, as Sean comes across the line, does Sean jump up from currently in 7th place? He does, up to 6th place. So slight improvement for Sean. Let's have a look at Rian van der Westhuizen. Currently on an outlap, he's in the final sector now. Around the 2 final corners, I believe. Onto the main straight, which has a kink in it. And he will then head on to his flying lap. Of course, I'm your commentator, which I did not announce. I am your commentator, Dennis Mitchell. I'm not sure if... I presume Sean Woodgate won't be joining me tonight. I believe he's still away on holiday, so he should be here for the next round, which is next week. I think Rion's lap has been invalidated with that cut. We'll see when he crosses the sector line if it registers it. If it does, then we know his lap is still good. So he should be roughly crossing the sector line. Should be, yep, still good. It's not a personal best though, but it does still count, so you can still improve in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Most of the drivers on track at the moment. We currently have 3 drivers in the pit. For the drivers that we have tonight, we have Gerrit Bierkes, who's currently in provisional pole position, Jean-Andre de Toy, Jandre Duppenaar, Timo Smit, Stanton Augustus, Sean Olivier, Peter Murray, Peter Geldenes, Conrad Osman, Monet Duploy, Dirk Kutzer, Monet Duploy, Donnie Stander, Sean Johnson, Rian van der Westhuizen, Donovan Vermaak, Stan Bezedenoot, Christian Labas, Marius van Wyk, Andre Hildebrandt, Harvey Goos, and Carl Stieg. Right, so Rian did go personal best in Sector 3. Let's see if he can improve from 15th place. Currently on a 48.1. What time will he put in now? There should be an improvement. Up to 11th place. That is quite a big improvement actually. So congratulations there, Rian. Donovan Vermaak starting a lap into Sector 1, into the first corner. Let's drive Porsche. Nice chrome rear end in the car. Let's see, can he get a personal best in Sector 1? Oh, see, Rian in front of him had gone off there. Right, that is a personal best in Sector 1, so currently stands in 16th place. Let's see if he can improve. With 16 minutes to go, so we're almost at the halfway point in qualifying. Most of our previous championships we've only had 15 minutes of qualifying, so this one will be the longest that most of our drivers have had. We are trying to replicate the Mobile 1 Porsche Cup and Porsche Supercup series, although they only have one race, whereas there are 2 different Porsche Cups. The one has 2 races with a shorter qualifying, the other has a longer qualifying with a single race. So we're kind of combining the 2. So we have 2 races, but with a longer qualifying. And at some point in the championship, we are hoping to have some of the real-world drivers joining us. We do have 2 drivers from the Fach Auto team joining us tonight, which we will jump to shortly as we watch Donovan in the final sector. Let's just see how he does improve, because he is on personal bests in both Sector 1 and Sector 2. Let's see if he can jump up from 16th place. A 148.1. I think someone is joining the server, that's why it pauses slightly like that. Will he improve? He does, up to 10th place. That's quite a good improvement. So the 2 drivers that are from the Fach Auto team, like I had said, we have, if I can find them, Stanton Augustus, not on for a personal best at the moment, so currently in 5th place. And Stanton's teammate is Conrad Osman. It's Conrad's first race with us. He has joined us for some fun races. So welcome, Conrad. Welcome to the Sim Experience team. Currently on an out lap. I believe Timo behind him is maybe on for a flying lap. He is indeed. But I think he has rolled out of it because he has caught up to Conrad. It looks like he has. Perhaps we can jump to... Let's see who else is on a good lap at the moment. So we currently have Jean-Andre de Toy in Sector 1. He's currently snuck into first place, so he has provisional pole position. He is 0.213 ahead of Gerrit Bierkes at the moment. One of the Auto drivers has spun there. So very slow first sector. I'm not sure if it's just because he was cautious there and lost a bit of time, but that was 11 seconds shy of his best. He definitely won't be improving on this lap. Right, Gerrit Bierkus about to start a flying lap. Hopefully this one we can catch. Let's do an onboard with Gerrit. Right, heading into turn 1. Just the right amount of curb and allow the car just to rotate slightly over the curb. Nice amount of curb on the exit. Hard on the brakes. The rear end coming around there, but powers through it nicely. Nicely done, nicely controlled. You see the cloud cover changing. Nice exit there, fastest first sector overall. So this could be a very good lap, so we'll keep an eye on this as it progresses. Over the hill. Have to not go too wide there, you will have your lap invalidated. Keep it nice and neat and tidy. Get over to the left as early as possible, straight line the corner. Hard on the brakes. A little bit too much slide there, he might have lost a little bit of time there. Let's see how sector 2, it's a personal best, so fastest overall sector 1, personal best sector 2. If he gets a good final sector, he might still be able to improve and take back first place. He was very aggressive over the curb, so might have just lost a little bit of momentum, but we'll see how that progresses throughout the rest of the lap. The rest of the sector, I should say. As we see someone joining, so that does that. Nice exit curb there. Keeps it nice and tight to the right. Shortest line possible. Will he improve? And he does. Fastest overall in the final sector. 0.089 fastest overall. Right, Timo Smit. Oh, as he loses it, unfortunately. Yandre Duppenaar, also in the first sector. Oh, chaos going around him here. He's decided to abandon the lap. Alright, let's see who else we have. Rian van der Veste is currently in 9th place. I believe he's just slightly further up the road. Unfortunately, not his best lap sector in sector 1. Let's see how sector 2 progresses. And I've lost my controls there. Definitely a bit rusty here. So currently looking at the veterans, we have the top veteran is Marius van Wyk. He's in 19th place. Andre Hildebrandt is in 20th place, and Harvey Goos in 21st. So the veterans are Linus Stern, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Reminder of our weather conditions at the moment. So currently air temperature 27 degrees. Track temperature is currently 47 degrees. Humidity 34%. And the wind speed is 7 kilometers southeast at the moment. Does Rian improve? I don't think so, because it wasn't a personal best in either of the sectors. It was in the final sector, but he does not improve. Right, so let's have a look at Dani Stander. I believe Dani Stander has just started. No, he's actually on an outlap. I thought we were going to catch him on a lap. I then believe the driver in front of him is Marius van Wyk. He is on a flying lap. It's not showing his time for sector 1, so I'm gathering that he has invalidated this lap. So let's have a look at another driver. Let's jump to Monet Deploy. How's Monet's lap doing? He's on a flying lap. He's in sector 1. Through the second chicane. A little bit of curb there, getting the car a little bit loose, but otherwise not too bad. It's nice and clean on the exit there. Doesn't use quite as much curb as what Gerrit was using. Gerrit was definitely leaning on the curb all the way. We know Monet is a very good driver. Of course, has won the very first Porsche Cup that Sim Experience held, which was the classic Porsche Cup, the 1976 Porsche Cup, I believe it was. Which was a South African only series, so it only had South African tracks. Of course, he has been a top 10 driver in the 80k series, so he is a very good driver. Teammates to Sean Olaf here. Oh, gets a bit loose there. He is still personal best Sector 1 and Sector 2, so he can improve. Let's see how his time unfolds in the final sector. He did get very loose over the curb. That chicane definitely lost him a little bit of time, and he's slightly wide, missing the apex there. Will he get a good exit here? The exit here is very, very crucial. It was fairly smooth. Right, heading up the line. Let's see, will he jump up from 11th place? And he does, up to 9th place. So nice improvement there, Monet. 146.2. Right, how's Christian doing? We haven't really seen much of Christian, another one of our newer drivers. I believe Christian is a Hungarian, so nice to have some more foreign drivers joining us. So not a personal best in Sector 1 or Sector 2. Sometimes you can still manage to improve even though you're not personal best. It depends how erratic your base times sectors were. You might have had your worst sector but best in the first two and worst in the final, and then you put together one slightly lower in all of them and actually end up with a faster time. Let's just see how this lap plays out. He's currently 15th and stays 15th. So we see some of the drivers coming under the pits. One of the drivers is, I believe, Monet du Toit, although he actually was starting his lap. His car is the Namibian flag. Of course, Monet is from Namibia, so his car has actually got the national flag over it, so it looks fantastic. But he abandons the lap as Darnie's Thunder comes past. Dirk also on a lap. No, sorry, on an out lap. So the drivers at the front, we currently have Garrett currently in provisional pole, so he took it back from Jeandre. Currently on an out lap. We have Jeandre currently on a lap, about to finish a lap. Will he improve? We don't see sectors there, so I'm assuming this lap was invalidated. It looks like it's a bit slow anyway. So perhaps he made a mistake, ran across the chicane and the lap was invalidated. Timo Smith currently sitting in 3rd place. That's a good time for Timo as well. 144.1. And Timo is in Sector 1 now. So let's have a look at Timo. Let's watch his lap. Let's see how he does. I believe that's Jeandre Dippenaar in front of him, who is currently in 4th place.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Dennis.
Good evening, Julian.
Surprise visit. I can't race. I thought I'd join you here.
Are you having hardware issues tonight?
Hardware issues. Yeah, major hardware issues. Maybe it'll be nice if you shared an image with me. I can also see what's going on. Or I can actually watch what's going on. I can jump into the server.
That's alright, I can share it for you. If everyone doesn't mind if I share it with you. Right, you should be able to... That is a strange image.
That is quite a strange image. Yeah, so my hardware's just given up on me, eh? My TSPC seems to have put in the dust. I think it's got something to do with the sensor inside, because as soon as I plug it in, and I was racing a couple of minutes ago, I was doing laps and it's feeling strong and everything was going nice.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, yeah. One of those things, eh?
I'm not sure why you're seeing this weird overlay. That's strange. Right, let me get back to the stream here. I'm focusing on that. Where was I? I lost myself.
You were watching Timo do a lap.
Yes.
You wanted to see where he was going to finish. He had Jeandre behind him.
He didn't improve that lap, and this lap is not going any better. Let's jump to Conrad. I think Conrad is on an out lap. I thought he was on a flying lap. Okay, one of the new drivers, of course. Let's then jump to One of the drivers currently sitting in the pits. Of course, this is a much longer qualifying session, so I guess they're taking a bit of a break. They do still have 3.5 minutes, just over 3.5 minutes to go.
So Dennis, it's a background on OBS or on Discord that you're using.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I can see something through it every now and again. There's a little bit of an image. That is very
So
weird.
if you just disable it, it's part of the Discord call.
I don't know where to disable
So-
that. That's something new that's popped up. I haven't enabled it.
Just go to
It's
the
just
video.
appeared.
Just go to the video setting. If you go to your video, turn on camera. If you go to
Let's get to that after qualifying. Only 3 minutes left, and in the break we can tackle
okay,
that.
cool. Cool.
Just having a look at some settings here in the background.
Andre, deploy that
There we go.
midnight code.
I think that has sorted
There we
it.
go. It is sorted. You can
Right.
see now.
Genre heading out on the lap. Let's do an onboard. Right, heading down to the first corner. Of course, weather conditions are still the same. It's still 27 degrees. 47 degrees track temperature and 34% humidity with wind speed of 7 kilometers southeast wind. A little bit of traffic. I believe that's Christian who's coming past. Christian moves over nicely for him. So slightly off, but not too far off in sector 1. He can still improve on this lap. Currently 0.089 shy of pole position. If he gets a good second and third sector, he can still improve. Very close between first and second. Timo is slightly, well, he's 0.7 back, so he's at the moment not looking like he's going to challenge for pole position. It looks like it's a two-way fight between Gerrit and Jandre. Jandre really trying everything there, going all over the curbs, car getting very loose, but he's 3/10 up in the middle sector.
Taking a little bit of advantage of the more easy track limits than we've been practicing with.
Yes.
I'm sure that's helping to find that extra 10th or 2 that he requires.
He could get pole position with this time. Let's see how the final sector goes.
Always a tough braking turn this downhill. Have to find that flow through there. Looks good though, looks very good. Good exit.
Good exit indeed. Nice and smooth. Will he keep it to the right? He doesn't keep it to the right. Gerrit keeps it to the right for the
He
straightest,
doesn't,
shortest line.
Yeah. It's actually you do pick up a little bit of time there if you don't
But he
go
gets pole
down wide,
position,
and he does.
Yeah.
He takes pole
but he lost a tenth in the final
two-
sector.
at 2/10 though. Yeah.
He was up
So
by
that
3.
means there's still a bit of space for Gerrit to come back. Yeah.
I think Gerrit has picked up that trick that the guys do in real life where they take the shorter line, the straighter line, keep the pit wall, as we'll see him do now. Where Genre goes wide and then comes back. Gerrit keeps it tight. You see how tight he keeps it there? Definitely the shorter route.
That's my line as well. I like that shorter, tighter line, especially in these cars. It's almost like it benefits you more if you've got downforce on your side to use the full jack and get higher speeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't really. It's just,
All right, so the checkered flag has
Just the
fallen.
call.
So currently we have Jean-Louis de Toy in provisional pole. And I don't know that Gerrit is. Let's see. Gerrit is on a lap. Can he improve? I think he got across the line just in time, but that won't help. Getting well onto the dirt there. And I think he's abandoned the lap. Is Timo on the
Yeah,
lap?
it looks like he has.
Timo's on for a good lap. He's pretty strong in the first sector. It's not his best, but he is relatively close.
I like the new track and the new information. We can actually see what his sector time is. It's yellow in sector 1. You can all see that in the bottom right of your screen. You can actually see a little picture there of Timo and some young lad.
Yeah,
And
yellow
his sector
again.
2 is also yellow, so that doesn't mean he's not really looking to challenge here.
No, unfortunately, yellow for the
Find a
yellow
bit of
car.
traffic as well and sliding. Yeah, The sliding, unlike him, but he can always come good in the J soul, Timo. It's one of those guys that's got good J space, generally, quite consistent.
And something you wouldn't have seen because you were driving, next to Timo's name, we've got his number in 84. It is red. Red means he's a pro driver. If it is yellow, it means he's a veteran driver. So coming across the line, I don't think he will improve. But let's see. He actually does, a 44.1. So a slight improvement, but only a fraction, doesn't improve his positions. So I think the last driver that is on track, I know that's a lap that's just started. So I think that's everyone finished. We are going to jump to an ad break and we'll be back shortly. All right, and welcome back, everybody. We are now live for race 1. This, of course, is race 1 of the Weldmech Porsche Supercup 2023 Championship. Round 1 coming to you live from the Imola Grand Prix circuit. I'm your commentator, Dennis Mitchell. Tonight, I am not joined by Sean Woodgate, but I am likely to still be joined by Julian Brains, who's just taken a small break and will be back with us shortly. Unfortunately, Julian has hardware issues, so will be joining us in commentary tonight. Of course, this is race 1. It is a 30-minute race. We will also have a race 2, which will have the same starting grid. But having got pole position in race 1, we have Jean Du Toit in pole position. And Julian, it sounds like you are back.
You're getting feedback from me. How's it? I'm back.
Yes, and welcome back.
Hello.
Yes, hi. All right, drivers.
Oh, there we go.
Drivers are on their formation lap at the moment. Right, as we follow the drivers around.
The overlays look phenomenal.
That's good. Good to hear. All right, so let's have a look at our starting order. Perhaps, Julian, you can read us through it.
Okay, I'm sure we've got Jean Du Toit in P1, Gerrit Beukes following P2, Timo Smith, and P3, Jean-Andre Dippenaar, P4. And then we've got Stanton Augustus from Vachtech, Sean Olivier, Pieter Galdenes from Pieter Marais in 8th. So it's a nice little lineup there. Morne de Toy in 9th, Rian van der Westhuizen in 10th, Conrad Osman in 11th, and Dirk in P12. What's an odd number next to him? 47. And then we've got in 13 Donovan Vermaak, 14 is Danny Standard, 15 is Christian Labas, and 16 is Morne de Toy. Sean Johnson is in 17, Andre Hildebrand in 18, Stan Besaidenout in P19, and P20 is Marius van Wyk. And then we've got Javi Gous in P21, Carl Steeg P22, and Dinash P23. Must have not had a qualifying or something. I would have expected Dinash to be a little bit higher up the order there.
Yes, unfortunately.
But yeah, that's your order for
joining very late. So he at least has made the race, but unfortunately didn't have a chance to get a good qualifying time in.
Okay, so it looks like we got a good Jason Irons tonight with an order like that.
It looks like P1 and P2
Bit of a battle for P1.
Yeah, P1 and P2 have decided to pull away slightly. Timo is just cruising around. Yonre behind also giving a bit of a gap, but then everyone is quite close behind them, so the pack staying much closer behind P4. At least they're going to have warm tyres. I think P1 and P2 are going to have very cold tyres by the time the race gets going.
Standing start as they make their way around the formation lap.
So they'll head up to the grid, they'll take their positions, and then they'll wait for the flag to drop. So currently we have 23 drivers on track. It would have been 24. Unfortunately, yourself, Julian, had a problem, and Rudy van der Westhuizen also had a problem, so we couldn't wait any longer for him, so we had to start without him, but hopefully he'll join us for race 2. Right, so of course we have our pole setter about to take his position on the grid. Gerrit Beukes right alongside him there, to his right, to our left. In the background we see Timo Smith weaving, getting some temperature up into his tires.
We have some shout outs on the YouTube for Donovan Vermaak from Sabine Greef. She's saying good luck, Donovan, so good luck to you, buddy.
Right, drivers now getting ready to get going. As we wait for everyone to slowly, 3 seconds to go. Alright, and we're away. It looks like a good start there in the back. I believe that is, who was that? Morne Deploy? I think having a good start. Ooh, a little bit of contact in the background.
Somebody's a little bit of action at the back there. But
Not
the guys
sure
out front.
Oh, looks like Rian van der Westhuizen spinning there. So a little bit of action happening. I'm not too sure who exactly is doing what, but we'll see how it all unfolds now. I believe it is Sean Olivier in fifth, so I think it was Morne Deploy having a little bit of a... It was actually Sean Olivier that had the good start, not Morne Deploy.
Is it Monet Deploy or Monet Detoy?
They are both. Monet Deploy is
Oh, he's actually Sean's partner, is it not?
Sean Olaf's teammate, yes.
Yeah, Sean Olaf's teammate, Thorax Racing, that's what they are, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, yeah.
And the two leaders seem to be making a bit of a pull away from the pack already, but staying in touch with each other. Gerard is there with Jean-Jay, so they quite evenly matched, and definitely looks like it's going to be a good race between them.
There's a good battle at the front there. Unfortunately, a little bit of a gap between themselves and Timo. But I think
Yeah,
looks like Gerrit is challenging Jean-Jay here.
I don't think it would be wise to be making the moves too early in this race, given there's been some feedback that the tires falling off can actually lead you to losing a lot of time if you push too early in the beginning. So it would be wise for these guys not to push each other this hard. But they seem to be going there.
They definitely need to maintain their tyres. The 30-minute race is quite a long way to go. They might need to do pit stops, so I think they need to play it very wisely. Do they take it a bit easy, or do they push hard and aim for a pit stop? So I guess they've done their work, they'll know. They're actually already coming up to someone to lap. I'm not sure who that will be. Gerrit getting right up to the rear end of Jean-Jay Detoy there. Jean-Jay feeling the need to go defensive. I'm not too sure what's happening with the driver in front.
Marcus already coming into the picture here. Who is that in front of them? Can you tell?
Looks like it might be Dirk. No, it can't be Dirk. Well, currently in last place we have
actually
Conrad. I'm not sure that is Conrad.
Conrad Osman. No, it looks like it might be Stan actually, or Monet Deploy. That's the other person right at the back there. So it's going to be interesting how this unfolds. And is there someone behind Gerrit as well? So there's a chain behind Gerrit. Timo's pulling up on him, Gerrit at the back there as well, as we see in the dual view here.
It looks like the drivers are cruising a little bit.
Racing.
Perhaps there's a bit of a chat and they're closing up the pack. I'm not sure what's happening. Is that the safety car in front of them?
The safety car.
It looks like it is. Why
That might actually be the safety car.
This
But
is
then you've
very
got to tell us
confusing.
what's going on. Full course yellow, Dennis. Full course yellow from what I see. So there is a full course yellow at the moment. So the back is going to bunch up a little bit. I don't know why that would be. T19 seems to have had an issue. So
Yes, that
Danny
is the safety
Stander
car.
and Labas. Yeah.
So that is very interesting. We don't usually see the safety car come out. In fact, it's the first time in our streams where the safety car has come out, so that is very, very interesting. I think at minimum the safety car stays out for 2 laps. So that is indeed the Weldmech safety car in front. So this is very interesting. Of course, the 30-minute race, all things can happen, but I was not expecting safety cars.
So the pack's going to bunch up again nicely now, give everybody a chance to get back in touch. And then it's going to be much like a rolling start with the safety car. The safety car will exit and then they will basically do a rolling start. So it's like a second start to the race.
Yeah.
With essentially very similar order to what we started with. A few change downs at the back, but the front seems to have stayed very much the same.
Yeah.
Peter Marais is looking like he's got some nice pace this evening, sitting in P6, just ahead of Jean-Jay Dippenaar.
Yeah, he's definitely gelling nice with these cars. There is a bit of a gap with the top 2 or 3 drivers, and then it seems quite close from 4th place down, and Peter's definitely there in the fight.
Peter just happens to be the sponsor of the series, Weldmech. It's a shout out to old Peter Marais.
Yeah, thank you very
bringing
much
us
to
the
Weldmech.
series. Yeah. As we see a mini picture of him there in that beautiful low depth of field shot with some fantastic animations, Dennis. Wow. Pulling out all the stops tonight, eh?
Yeah, trying to make it look a little bit nicer, give a bit more information to everyone.
Hopefully that's working for you guys. Let us know what you think. I'm watching the comments. Tell us some interesting things. Share this link. So we'll shout you out.
Yeah, we're kind of in the dark at the moment with what's happening with the safety car. We are not too used to this, so this is something very, very new to us.
So at the moment, no racing happening. Guys just cruising along. But I suppose it might work for some guys, especially guys like Stanford Note that are quite far behind. Maybe gives them a chance to catch up with some seconds into it, because I don't think there'd be a limit on catching up to the pack. The game might actually encourage you to do that.
Let's see now. You can watch from Jean de Toy's point of view. Will the safety car peel in? No, they're doing another lap behind the safety car. So this seems a little bit unnecessary.
Is there any way of you overriding the safety car, Dennis?
There is, and I'm going to try and do that in the background. I'll try to send the safety car in.
Let's see if we can get that done. In the meantime, I might just speak to myself here.
Yes, you perhaps just keep the commentary going while I try and get the safety car in.
I'll just keep it going. Let me tell you a little bit about the field. A little bit about what we know about the field. And we were meant to have some real-world Porsche Cup drivers join us for this session, and now I'm going to be lying to you when I tell you if that is the case or not. But we do have Team rFactor represented here for now, and running quite well in P4, Stanton Augustus. Just behind. Yeah, I mean, what can I tell you about the team? You know what? We should actually make it interesting. I think Dennis, should we put somebody in here just to chat to us while we have this?
Yeah, perhaps let's pull in Jean de Toy. He's currently in the prime seat at the moment, right behind the safety car.
I don't know if he's actually present to be pulled in. So we've got some options though. Like for instance, we could speak to Peter Maget if we wanted. He's around.
Let's bring him in. Since he is the title sponsor, let's bring him in, get some questions while we're behind the safety car. The safety car have cancelled the yellow flag, so hopefully we'll peel into the pits this lap.
I'll go get him, just give me 1 sec.
Alright, so a little bit of confusion with what's happening in the race at the moment. So there was an incident, the safety car did come out. I'm not sure why it stayed out so long. I have now manually told it to come in. So hopefully it will. This is new territory for us, having the safety car actually being used in a race. I'm not too sure what caused it. We'll have to see later on. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3 at the moment. They've all just gone into Sector 3, so I'm not too sure why that is. Safety car is in, race is away. Alright, so we now have a race on our hands again.
There we go. I was pulling Peter on, but he let me know that the safety car was ending. And as the field starts to look alive.
I see we also have a penalty for Morris van Wyk, so I'm not sure what he did, but he has a penalty. Alright, so heading into Sector 1, we have Jean de Toy from Gerrit Beekers, Timo Smit in third. Stanton Augustus is currently in fourth place as we're on board with Stanton, as we see Timo in front of us. Quite aggressive over the curbs there. We have Sean Ulif here directly behind. Oh, and in the background I believe that is Dirk getting very, very loose there over the dirt. He's right behind Andre Dippenaar. Getting very sideways
all
as well.
All these guys have got really good pace, so it's all going to boil down to the consistency now. And managing those tires and managing your race, you know. I suppose the safety car for a couple of laps would definitely have helped and actually cooled the tires down, so they're probably getting a bit of temps back up now.
Yeah, definitely will affect the guys.
You know, getting back into that range of where they're starting to feel it, as well as trying to lose their opponents.
Yeah, Peter Marais that you were about to drag in is actually having a great race at the moment, so currently sitting in 6th place. Go on board, he's got Sean Ulif right in front of him, so he's hanging in there with Sean and he's fighting for possibly 4th place at the moment. 4th is in sights, even 3rd is actually in sights.
I must say, I love that Thorax racing livery. That is really a beautiful livery, Sean and them have.
It is very nice. I believe that's Monet Duploy that designed that, so Monet, a very, very talented artist. He used to do some of our graphics in the past, so yeah, very, very talented guy there. And a pretty fast driver as well. Right, heading down the main straight, heading into sector 1 as we're on board with Peter. Looking back from Sean. I was kind of expecting Peter to be a bit closer on the brakes. The gap's kind of neutralized a bit down the straight, and not, I think, maybe being a bit more cautious on the brakes, so that might benefit him later on in the race. He might preserve his front tires a bit better. Certainly a bit more aggressive of the curb, gets very sideways there. As we're looking back at him, we can see how much wheel spin he was getting there.
Was that Peter that went that sideways? It didn't look that
It
sideways
was
from
Peter,
onboard.
Yeah, the onboard was a little bit deceptive. I guess the bonnet view doesn't show it, but the shot back from Sean was...
The bonnet view, yeah, you lose quite a lot with the bonnet view in terms of the angle of the car.
Looks like
But
Sean
he's
is
doing well to
struggling.
stay in touch.
Yeah, Sean is getting a bit sideways there and a bit ragged, and he definitely caught up to Sean there. And now he's right
Well,
behind
there
Sean.
he definitely pulls in.
And
Nice
Stanton-
blow through that sector there as Sean cuts
Yeah.
the whole jack.
And Stanton in front of them also took a bit of an advantage there. He went very wide over the chicane.
Okay, so I'm sure they've really dialed their setups to be able to drive the curbs this hard, because I know from myself that who's going to do this race, there's no chance I could actually ride the curb like that successfully. So my setup is not tuned for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
What's the race looking like out at the front there? I can't quite see that gap between Jean-Jacques Toy and Gerrit.
Currently we're sitting at 0.8 between first and second, and that's sort of pretty constant, so nothing coming and going. I guess the closest at the moment is actually...
Gerrit also sliding quite a bit there, looks like. But staying in touch with Jean-Jacques.
Yandre all over the back
Nice
of Peter
little-
Marais. I'm sure that this is not something that Yandre was expecting to be behind Peter. It's usually the other way around, so Peter really having a solid race at the moment.
No, definitely. And he looks like he's very comfortable in the
sideways there.
car.
He
And
spoke too soon. Commentator's curse. Comfortable but sideways.
yeah. But definitely comfortable with being sideways.
And he's just
Like
lost
he
the place.
knows he's... Yeah, unfortunately.
It does look very, very comfortable in the car, so perhaps race pace will be better, but unfortunately losing a place there. Now up the road we have Sean Olivier, so that is Yandre's next target. Let's see if Yandre can close
Like
up.
we said, Like we said, it's going to all boil down to tire management here, because I've got a feeling at the end of this 30-minute stint, the lap times are going to fall off quite drastically. That's from the information we get from what they expect.
Yeah, I think that the driving styles are definitely going to play a part in this championship. So the guys that are more aggressive
100%.
are
I
going
don't
to...
see Peter Marais' style holding up on those tires for too long. As aggressive as I saw him sliding earlier.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, he's going to have to be a bit smoother. And the drivers that are being smooth, I think, are the drivers that are at the front. Speaking of drivers at the front, what's happened to Jean-Luc du Toit? Jean-Luc du Toit is now down to 8th place. I didn't see what happened.
whoa.
So something has obviously happened to him. And we have Timo Smit right behind Gerrit Bierkes now. So there possibly was an
Something
incident
must have
between the two.
happened between Gerrit Bierkes and Jean-Jacques. Okay, interesting.
So apologies to everyone that we missed that, but yeah, very interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. So Timo currently eyeing the win at the moment, and it looks like Gerrit is maybe got a bit of damage because he's not that fast at the moment. He's not pulling away from Timo. He definitely had the qualifying pace over Timo. But Timo is there with him, and right in the background we have Stanton and Augustus as well. So Stanton hanging in there as well. So Stanton now top 3. Of course, this championship was highly motivated by the Fach Auto Tech team. The team had been asking us to do a Porsche Cup series for a while, so they got their wishes. So hoping to have some of the real world drivers join us later in the championship. We do have some of the esport drivers with us. Of course, we have Stanton, and we also have further down the field, where is
Conrad, if I'm not
Conrad is
mistaken.
currently got a DNF, unfortunately. Actually, 3 drivers with DNFs at the moment. So that was maybe that start incident that we saw, some of the drivers having an incident. We might have some reports heading the steward's way. So drivers that aren't doing as well as I thought. I was kind of expecting Monet deploy to be further up because he's been quite good in the practice sessions. He's currently in 14th place. Sean Johnson is currently having a solid drive, currently in 9th place. Taking a little bit of a cut there. He might get away with that though. Teammates, of course, to Rian van der Westhuizen. Rian also not having a very good round at the moment, currently sitting in 16th place. There we see Rian. I think Rian might have had to take
who is having a... Sorry?
Yes, after you.
Sorry, no, I'll tell you who is having a good round is Stan Besaidnout's running in P13.
Yes, that is a good round so far for
That's
Stan.
pretty solid for Stan.
And also in front of him,
He looks to be there
Monet
quite comfortably.
Monet also 12th place. That's pretty good. Looks like there's a bit of a ding to the front of the car, but still currently 12th place. Locking up into turn 1 though. Running slightly wide. That will definitely benefit Stan behind him. And this is something we're going to see, I think, as the race progresses. We're now 13 minutes left in the race, so we've passed the halfway mark. Tyre wear will now start to become an issue.
Yeah, and obviously all that battling at the beginning doesn't help the tyre wear. So now's when you pay for it.
Definitely. So Jean de Toy has made up place. He's up to 7th place now, so slowly coming back to the field. His next target will be Peter Murray, who's right in front of him.
I wonder what happened to Jean J, because Gerard seems to still be flying along, so maybe he just made a misstep himself.
Yeah, but the gap between Gerrit and Timo closed, so possibly there was something between the other two drivers.
Yeah. But Timo's definitely got good J space, and you know, he always comes good in the J's. He's actually closing up on Gerrit at times there, so maybe Gerrit has got a bit of damage.
Yeah, Gerrit does have the fastest lap in the race at the moment of a 1:44.549. Timo only on a 45.6, so not quite there. 45.5 for Stanton behind him. Yonder is a 45.8, so lots of 45s there. Rondo de Toy, who's in 7th place, currently still behind Peter Murray as we're watching, is on a 44.6, so he's just shy of a 10th slower than Gerrit's fastest time. But last laps, he was at a 46.3 and Gerrit was a 45.4, so Gerrit definitely has the pace at the moment. Jean-Andre seems to be the one struggling. You can see a little bit of damage to the front right of his car as we're looking at his bonnet view. But perhaps there was a bit of contact. Maybe Gerrit made the move and Jean-Andre drove into the back of him. Or maybe they came across on each other. I'm not sure. Just guessing by the damage. So we'll just see how that plays out. Timo did a 45.6 last lap.
Is there any chance that in the future we'll be able to go and see and look up those kind of incidents?
Yes, at some point in the future we will have the replay setup working. At the moment that's not functional. But that will be something that we will be using going forward.
That's something for you guys to look forward to.
So Gerrit's still out front. There's a bit of a gap over Timo Smith at the moment. So Timo currently, we have a yellow flag in sector 3. Hopefully we don't get the safety car again. So currently we have the closest gaps on track. Let's just have a quick look at our gaps. Seems like we have really large gaps between all the drivers. So I think this is actually the closest gap. Everyone kind of just settling at the moment. Let's have a look further down the field. We have Sean Olivier in 5th place at the moment. Doing a solid job in 5th. Oh, someone in front has gone off. Is that Stanton? No, I think it must have been one of the other drivers.
It was Ante Hildebrand, if I'm not mistaken. Had a bit of quite a few places there. He's also got a DNF now.
Oh dear. Okay, so he must have gone off and into the barrier because we did see the smoke. As we see Andre backing the car in there. Under the brakes.
Sliding it down the corners.
So now starting to challenge Stanton Augustus. Oh, as we see Timo having a spin there.
Timo's...
Timo, what's happening to Timo? What happened there? Just getting it wrong on the brakes, I guess. So that now means that Jandre Dippenaar is up into the 3rd place and he's got 2nd place in front of him. So looking for 2nd place in the race.
It's Stanton Augustus.
All
So
right.
it goes Gerrit Bucus, Stanton Augustus to Jandre Dippenaar, and then Imo Smith didn't lose too badly. Seems to have just lost 2 places to that, so he's in 4th. With Sean Olivier following.
I guess it could be tyre wear playing an issue. Maybe just locked up slightly and maybe the front tyres are starting to wear a bit. Alright, so further down the field we have other gaps that are quite close. We have Monet Deploy is 1.8 seconds at the moment behind, I believe that's Carl Stieg in front of him, but that I don't think is for position. The car that he's fighting is Stan, who's directly in front of that, so Carl is a back marker. I'm not sure if he's going to move over at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be getting the blue flags now. Looks like he is moving over. And does indeed.
6 minutes to go. The tires are definitely not in a good place.
Alright, so we have
But
Stan.
guys seem to be
Stan in
doing
front.
good, sliding it on.
Yeah, they seem to be hanging on to it. I'm sure they're going to get more used to it as the championship goes on. So Stan currently in 11th place. That's a solid position for Stan.
Solid.
And then further down the field, we have Sean Johnson currently with Peter Caldenes right behind him. So that's a good battle going on here. Right, so Peter looking to get by Sean. I'm sure Sean is enjoying the race. He's having a good race. Sean definitely a racer. Doesn't seem to focus too much on his qualifying pace, but he's definitely a racer. And Peter's no slouch when it comes to races. He's been around a long time, so he knows what he's doing. Good racecraft as well.
Peter's actually, is he the leading veteran?
No, he actually isn't a veteran. He's just shy of being a veteran, so unfortunately he's still a pro driver.
Okay. Sorry, Peter. My bad. All that experience, I can just see it oozing from him, you know. That experience on the track.
Getting right up there now at the moment as well.
Oh, yes. And he's going to be up on the inside of this turn, which is where you really want to be, but it's very difficult to take. So let's see how he handles that. Ooh.
Nicely done.
Well done, well done. Nice and neat.
I'm definitely rusty. I'm getting confused with my screen, so apologies for that. I'm thinking I'm live on the one, but I'm actually live on the other. So I was a bit behind there. Been
Just
away too
following
long.
along from what I can see. But yeah, 6 minutes in this race to go, and we still have Gerrit Beukes up in the lead. 5 seconds he's got on Stanton Augustus behind him. 6 seconds to Jandre Dippenaar, so that means that gap is closing, if I'm not mistaken, between Jandre and Stanton.
It does look like it, yes.
It does look like it, yeah. So Jandre is going to possibly be making a play within the next 5 minutes for 2nd position. Having started, where did he start? If I'm not mistaken, he was like 4th or something.
4th or 5th, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Fourth
I
or
think it was 4th.
So
In
had
fact,
I known that I
no.
was going to commentate, I would have come with some sauce or thought of some nice things. But I planned to race this race and just didn't work out that way.
Just a reminder about the weather the drivers currently have. It is 27 degrees. It is 47-degree track temperature, 34% humidity. The wind speed has increased from qualifying. It is now 8 kilometers an hour, and it is still a southeast. In fact, I think it was a southwest in qualifying, if I'm correct. So Stanton looks like
Sean Johnson and
he's
Peter
holding off.
Galdenes might be...
Look, to Sean
feeling
there.
the pressure a little bit. Feeling the pressure as Jandre closes up.
Right there with him at the moment.
Yeah, no, he's going to have to find his way by. Stanton being very defensive. Well, not very defensive, but
Giving us a good look at the sponsors on the front of Jandre's car there. Formula Couriers and PZN. We're seeing a good view of the back of Stanton's car at the moment, seeing the mobile sponsor. Of course, Stanton does have the Auto sponsors for the real team as well. Has permission to run those.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jean-Jay's looking quick.
Is he going to do a different line and maybe get a cutback kind of effect? No, not with that amount of curb. Using momentum there. Stanton was much smoother through the chicane. Alright, heading down to the final two corners on the brakes. Takes a slightly wider line than Stanton, but loses at mid-corner and loses a bit of traction as a result. He over-rotates in mid-corner there. Yeah, I lost momentum there because of that.
Stanton feels like he can breathe a little bit, but not for long.
Alright, so here they all come down the main straight. So Stanton definitely feeling the pressure. Yandre's there. Just an occasional mistake from Yandre giving Stanton a bit of breathing room, but he's there. Yandre still has 3 minutes to go. Oh, very, very sideways.
Quiet race for most of it up until now, and now in this last 2 minutes, it's gonna.
So Yandre hasn't had the best of luck in all our championships. He's definitely had the pace in several of the championships, but just hasn't had the luck. So maybe this championship things are going to be a bit different. Although at the moment it looks like Gerrit is the driver to beat, and Jean-Louis du Toit, his closest rival, had a bit of an incident, so he's just made a move for 6th place, which just happened. I'm not sure if Peter Murray just made a mistake, because that gap is the pass just happened, and yet there's quite a big gap. So possibly Peter Murray had a bit of an incident, maybe ran off into the chicane or something, but Jean-Louis du Toit is now up to 6th place. Of course, points do go up to 10th place, so drivers in the points currently are Gerrit Beekers in 1st place, Stanton Augustus in 2nd place. We have Yandre Duppenaar in 3rd place, Timo Smit 4th place, Sean Olivier in 5th place, Jean-Louis du Toit in 6th place, Peter Murray in 7th, Peter Galdenes in 8th, Sean Johnson in 9th, and Monet du Toit in 10th. So Monet du Toit currently just outside the points. He's 5.3 seconds shy of being in the points. Dan Bezuidenhout is down to 12th place, and Monet is actually progressed up to 11th place. Nash is in 13th, Rian van der Weste is in 14th, Morris van Wyk is currently 15th. There's a bit of a battle going on between them as well. So within a second, the gap between the two of them. And I think that's the leader that's coming up to lap them at the moment. It is indeed Gerrit.
Yeah, that's Gerrit.
Oh, as we see Morris going off there. Of course, Morris will then be dropping a few places. So that is Rian in front of him. Rian getting very sideways there. I'm sure Gerrit as a race leader, the last thing you want to be doing is coming up to a back marker who's going sideways.
Yeah, and as he comes just muscling through, I'm sure it's quite intimidating for the back markers.
We have quite a battle behind them as well.
And the battle behind them is definitely ensuing. Stanton doing well to still be in front here. 46 seconds of the race to go. So he's responding well to the pressure. Jean-Jay and Stanton have actually raced together on a team, so they know each other fairly well.
They're right behind Harvey Coast as well, so they got back markers coming into play.
Some back marker action. Yeah.
I'm not too sure which way Harvey's going. Harvey went left. They thought that he was going to go right.
Stanton actually getting lucky there. He going up on the inside, just protecting himself, running a bit wide, and Jean-Jay gets back as we see the replay of that. Oh, now we're back onto the live. Oh, Stanton losing the position.
Very
almost
good.
losing it off the track there.
And I believe that's the last lap
Right
done.
on the last minute there. Right on the last, so that's the checkered flag.
Alright, so...
And that's how they'll finish.
Yes, up front we missed it with all this happening. So we have Gerrit taking the win. In second place we have Yandre Duppenaar snatching second on the dying moments of the lap. Excellent. Stanton will be, I'm sure, cursing that, but still taking a solid third place, so getting on the podium. In fourth place we have Timo Smit, who has already pitted. We have Sean Olivier in 4th place. We have Jean de Toy salvaging 6th place. Peter Murray 7th place. Peter Geldenes coming across the line now for 8th place. Sean Johnson will take 9th place. And our final points position will be Monet du Toy coming across the line for 10th place, taking 1 point. As he comes across the line.
Yeah. That was a pretty eventful race.
Alright, we're going to head to a quick ad break and we'll set the grid for race 2 and then we'll be back shortly after that. So see you shortly. Right, welcome back everyone. We are now live for race 2 of the Weldmech Porsche Supercup. This is round 1, race 2, coming to you live from the Imola Grand Prix circuit. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Julian Brains. Evening, Julian.
Good evening everybody. Hopefully I sound a lot better now.
Just a quick look at our current
nicer.
schedule. So just to let everyone know, this is round 1 from Imola. Next week we'll be doing round 2 from Monaco, then it's Kyle Army, then Silverstone, then Nürburgring, then we have a 1 week mid-season break, then we head over to Spa, then Suzuka, Zandvoort, Montreal, and then finally Monza. Right, as the drivers now head out onto their formation lap. So, going over the starting order, we have the same starting order as race 1. Jean-Louis de Toy in pole position, Gerrit Bierkes in second place, Jan-Ray Dippenaar in third, Stanton Augustus in fourth. Timo has unfortunately pulled out, so that's why we have a change in order. Fifth place, Sean Olivier, Peter Geldenes in sixth place, Peter Marais in seventh place, Monet Deploy in eighth place. In ninth place, Rian van der Westhuizen. In 10th place, Conrad Osman. In 11th place, Monet Dutoy. In 12th place, Sean Johnson. In 13th place, Andre Hildebrandt. In 14th place, Stan Bezuidenhout. In 15th place, Marius van Wyk. 16th place, Harvey Goes. In 17th place, Carl Stieg, and in final place, 18th place, Dinesh Singh. Unfortunately, a lot of the drivers having issues not rejoining or not able to rejoin, so that is our order. Just 18 drivers in race 2.
18 drivers is plenty to have a good race though.
Yes. So plenty of action to be had. Once again, it looks like position 1 and 2 pulling away slightly from position 3, so they're definitely seeing the different strategy at the start. All the other drivers weaving about you, they disappearing down the road. They're going to sit on the grid a bit longer while the other drivers form up on the grid. That's going to cool their tires a little bit. I'm not sure if they're aware of that, but they should be slowing down, unless that's a bit of tactics there by Jan-Ray Dippenaar in third place, just backing off a bit, creating a bit of a gap.
I think it's a bit of tactics.
Definitely could be. All the drivers behind weaving quite a lot, so they're definitely doing what they can to keep their tires up to temperature. But let's see if that helps. The drivers in front that have their tires cooled down, they probably take a lap or so before they get up to temperature. So lots of weaving going on.
I think it's important to also take it easy for the formation lap. You know, it's important you don't hurt your tires in that period. And you know what it's like with an 18 grid field, people make mistakes. Sometimes guys run off, so it's a bit better to keep it slower. I mean, look at how far out those guys are from everybody else. They're all on their own there.
They're on the grid.
Their tires are going to lose so much temperature.
So they're on the grid already, and here comes Jan-Ray now in P3.
And now they start picking up pace a little bit.
So the guys
at
all
least the rest
up.
of the field seems to be quite tightly packed at the back there. So it's interesting that we had Imola for the first of the Porsche Cup, eh? So synonymous with Ferrari, these Italian tracks.
Yeah, and we have a German sports car.
Yeah, and it's the start. It's the first race. I found that was interesting. As the guys all line up and
they get ready for race 2. So we wait to see the timer. Once everyone's in position, the timer will count down.
It looks like some people are slightly out of position. Looks like Rian van der Westhuizen in particular at the back there.
I think if they stay where they are, it'll auto-adjust them. They just need to not move. There we go.
There we go. 5
seconds to go. Basically 3, 2, 1. And we're away.
Round 2 of the 2023 Porsche Cup, Weldmech Porsche Cup, that is, from South Africa. These are your hosts. I'm Julian and this is Dennis Mitchell.
Alright, lots of action. Everyone keeping nice and clean into turn 1, thankfully, unlike the previous race. So that's a good start for everyone.
Nice and clean.
A bit of field spare, but just enough to keep it clean.
I'm sure everybody learned some valuable lessons in race 1.
Definitely, I'm sure of it. Right, so the weather for race 2 much the same as the weather for weather is much the same as race 1's weather. 27 degrees Celsius, 47 degrees track temperature, 34% humidity, and 8-kilometer wind speed, southeast wind. So I'm sure the drivers are aware of that. It did change from qualifying from a southeast to a from a southwest to a southeast, and it was slightly stronger in the race in race 1, 8 kilometers versus the 7 k's an hour in qualifying, but I'm sure the drivers have adjusted to that already. Right, so lots of gaps at the moment. We have Peter Murray quite close behind Peter Kelden as he's just running slightly wide there. And right up in front of them we have Sean Olivier. So Sean with Stanton right behind him, and Andre right in front of that, getting slightly wide over the curb there. So currently we have Gerrit Bierkes out in front from Jean-Louis du Toit. Gerrit having a good start. Pulling away slightly from Jean-Louis.
He's already got 1.6 seconds into Jean-Louis, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise.
That is a very good start. Yeah. Earlier they were they were neck and neck, so it's interesting to see.
Stanton having a good look at the back end of Sean Olivier at the moment. Sean's got his mirrors full of Bach Auto Tech. Right on his bumper at the moment. Here he comes, he's looking. Of course, there's a passing opportunity there. There's another one at the top of the hill.
I think guys are going to be cautious given, all the battling they did at the front of the first race. I think they're going to be cautious on their tyres this time round.
Yeah, I think so. I think they would have learned a lot. They haven't had, they've done lots of practice racing before the championship started, but nothing is going to educate you quite like the very first actual race. Everyone driving on pace, pushing as hard as they can, they learn a lot more from that.
100%. And the fact that the format is this way and you basically get your second chance, as it were, you start in your same grid position in the second race. It's sort of like a do-over. So nice format. As we cut to the live action, Sean Olivier still being tailed by Stanton Augustus.
So Sean actually doing very well. He struggled in some of the previous championships we've done. He definitely did a lot better in the GT3s. He struggled in the BMWs and even the British touring cars. But showing good pace again in these Porsches. So he's up there. He's 4th place at the moment. That's solid, not too far off from a podium. As we have a new fastest lap for Gerrit Bierkes of a 1:44.427. Jean-Andre is slightly slow by about 3/10. So I'm not sure if Jean-Andre is just taking a slightly different tactic to what he did in race 1. He obviously would have learned from race 1. So maybe just being a bit more cautious. We have Jean-Andre Dupinard currently in 3rd place. And then we have this fantastic battle brewing here for 4th place. So they're not too far shy of the podiums in front of them. Oh, Sean getting very sideways there. This might give Stanton an advantage, but surprisingly not. Sean actually seemed to get out of the corner better than Stanton there. And maybe that slide gave him a bit of extra momentum. Stanton up onto the curb, coming down nice and smooth.
Those slides will take it out of your tires though. So that's what you pay for it. You might keep up for a lap or two, but over the long run, that's not going to work. So yeah, Stanton applying a bit of pressure. I think he doesn't want to be too aggressive and get into it with anybody. He's just looking to apply a bit of pressure, looking for you to possibly make a mistake. I think that's his strategy here.
Which is a very wise strategy for a longer race. It's not really a sprint race, it's more of an endurance style race. You need to play the long game here, and he's definitely doing that.
I mean, Stanton is an endurance racer, so I think this does qualify as a bit of a sprint race to him. but nonetheless, I think he's biding his time here a little bit behind Sean. Sean's definitely got pace. But as we can see, a little bit of sliding, a little bit too much sliding, that could fall off in the next couple of minutes, next 10 minutes or so. So let's see how that plays out.
I'm a bit surprised. So at the moment, in second place, we have Jean-Louis du Toit. His last lap was only a 46.2. Andre Dupinard behind him was almost a second a lap faster on a 45.391. So Andre currently the pace setter.
Yeah, Sean Olivier is also in the 145, so maybe Jean-Louis du Toit just had a bad lap, you know? He's just collecting himself as he sets up to go and hunt Gerard down, because Gerard's definitely flying along. I mean, his last lap was within a tenth of his best, you know? So it was 144.52.
Yeah, a nice battle going on here.
As we watch Peter Geldenhuys coming up behind, who is that?
Peter Marais, Battle of the Peters.
Yes. Peter Marais, yeah. They
right
always seem
them.
to find each other, eh?
And right behind them, Monet Deploy. So
okay,
nice
so two teammates. Yeah. Oh, no, they're not teammates, but a nice three-way battle that is, yeah.
Perhaps bring up the extended battle so we can see the gaps between them, yeah? Oh, Peter Marais getting a little bit sideways there, but he had actually just made a slight break on them going into that, and he seemed to have salvaged enough of a traction to pull a slight gap on Peter Geldenhuys there.
Yeah, you must watch out for being too aggressive too early. You know, he should flow with the flow of these three. That would be my advice.
Right, Monet has the perfect view of the battle in front. So which of the Peters is going to be? Monet looks like he's got a bit of a tow from these guys down the straight here, getting a good slipstream here.
Good run, yeah, very good run. He's going to come up right behind them after the braking zone. Because they would generally brake a bit earlier coming up there together.
But you're getting Peter Marais getting very bouncy over the curbs there.
Very aggressively through there. It's always a tricky section, carrying your speed through here.
Someone in front of them going on the dirt there. We saw a bit of dust in the air. So this battle is definitely a three-way battle.
And this is for 5th position, if I'm not mistaken. No, for 6th position.
Right, so looking forward from the third of the three and looking back from the first of the three. So in both shots we see Peter Geldenhuys and that fantastic flash delivery.
Nice.
I think the guys have learned a lot from race one. They're definitely not as aggressive in this race as what they were in the first race. So I think they're learning that you need to be a bit smoother.
I think a lot of them struggled with their tires toward the end, so they're just looking to manage tires right now and, you know, basically figure out who they're racing here realistically without hurting the car, hurting the tires.
Just seeing one of the sponsor logos pop up there. Obviously JU Autos is an important sponsor that helped us with this multi-view, and Team Harder Racing. Now neither of their drivers are here tonight. That's Jason Underwood and Chris Collison. I'm not sure if they will be joining us. Well, hopefully they will be joining us. They did sign up for the championship, so hopefully they'll join us for round 2. I know Jason is busy with his cricket championships at the moment, so I'm not sure how many races he'll join, but hopefully he will be able to join. And Chris, I'm not sure why Chris isn't here tonight, but hopefully we have Chris join us for the next rounds.
I got a lovely comment on YouTube there from somebody, Bierkus. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So, well done. Car number 3, which is Gerrit Bierkus, if I'm not mistaken, and she's put a whole bunch of bees as the emojis. I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
That's very cool. Of course, remember to hit the like and
just,
subscribe button if you're enjoying what you're watching.
Gerrit is bumbling along there in that little black bee of his. 3 seconds into Jean-Louis du Toit already. That's surprising to me, I must say.
Definitely got the pace at the moment. I think
Jean-Louis du Toit The last lap didn't count because he must be doing track cuts or something. So clearly he's maybe pushing a little bit too hard trying to catch Gerard.
And Gerard's making a
Gerard's running
mistake.
a little wide there. As a rare mistake we caught there on the stream.
And then, of course, getting on the power very aggressively and fighting the slide on the exit as well. So losing a bit of ground there. And he might have a bit of dirt on his
put a
tires
bit of
now.
heat in his tires, yeah. Yeah, a little bit of heat in his tires as well. He was just comfortable at over 3 seconds, and that's how quickly it can change. As we cut back to Stanton Augustus, still looking at the back of Sean Olivier.
Another
With a
nice
bit more
battle
space
brewing
between
here.
them now, looks like.
Yeah. Sean Johnson, Rian van der Westhuizen and the teammates here. A second between them.
Lovely, man.
I guess there's no team orders then. Of course, Maurice van Wyk also within a second of Stan Bezuidenhout. So Stan once again having a solid drive, currently in 12th place.
Now Stan's looking on form, I must say.
I think Stan appreciates the cars that are more realistic. So this car you have to drive in a very realistic manner. You can't just jump on the throttle or jump on the brake. You've got to sort of modulate your controls like you do a real car a lot more. And that does seem to be benefiting him. He seems to get his head around it a bit better. So Maurice van Wyk currently
just put in a new fastest lap again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maurice van Wyk currently as we see one of the, I believe that's maybe Stanton that it's one. No, I think that's Conrad. Maurice is currently the leader in the veterans class.
Well done.
I believe that was
I
Conrad
was
that
just
had
saying
spun.
that. Yeah, I was also just saying that Gerard put in another fastest lap. He's going even faster. So he's gone down to 44. Oh no, I actually misread that. No, I thought it was he went down to a 44 too. That still stands. So he actually had a slower lap fast, and he's put that gap back between them, back up to 3 seconds. Yeah, Gerard's renowned for putting in like 500, 600 laps on the server. Not to mention what he does offline. So
Nice battle here between Peter Murray and Stanton. Peter actually getting past Stanton at the moment, so
is Peter Murray making the move on
he
Stanton?
just did, yes. And then runs slightly wide. Will Stanton come back at him? He's going to get that. And of course, Peter Geldernes right behind them as well. Peter Geldernes getting
Okay,
a
so Stanton
prime view.
jumped into that, so that was for 5th. Nice.
Yeah, Peter Murray
Nice.
definitely having a good round.
Definitely liking this car. Still sliding quite a bit. So he must watch himself because it's only halfway through the race.
Use
but
that Sean
still,
Olivier up in front of them, also sliding
he
on the
looks
right.
like he's gonna slide right past Sean Olivier there as Peter Geldernes gets past Stanton as well now. So Stanton must have hurt his tires. Maybe he's flat spotted or something, you know. You can so easily flat spot these cars.
Yeah, so
He had a bit of a
everything
lockup
going
with
wrong for him.
braking. Yeah, it's just not going his way in race 2 here, and he was on the podium for race 1.
Maybe that was the Stanton that we saw make a mistake. I just assumed it was
He's
Conrad,
got
but
some damage.
yeah, possibly. Maybe to start breaking
As we
himself.
see Peter Murray now and Peter Geldernes moving up towards. Who is that? Just there?
Sean Olivier.
Sean Olivier. Wow. That is very interesting pace screen shown here by Peter Murray. So clearly he's been quiet, but he's been putting in the laps in this car.
Ooh, very sideways there. Wow.
Sliding there.
Smoking the tires.
You see, that's the kind of thing that's really going to catch up with you when you've got about 4 or 5 minutes left in the race.
Yes, you definitely don't want to be doing that. Right, let's see, is this
But
going
like we
to
said,
close
guys
up?
have got information. So let's see what they're doing with that information, the new information after race 1.
He still looks like he's
So,
getting out of the
yeah.
corners good, so he's definitely got to grips with his car. Maybe his setup is just working. Of course, setups are open, so maybe he just has a slightly better setup. He seems to have more traction out of the corner. As you see, Sean Olivier running wide there. They're all coming together here now. Oh, there goes two in front of Peter Geldernes.
Oh, push. Peter's going for it. Peter Merez making the move on Sean Olivier as Peter Geldenhuys gets the perfect view here. Oh, and it looks like there to be a little bit of contact. Oh, and Sean Olivier gets taken out, actually. That was a little unfortunate. A little too little space given there, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll let the stewards decide.
Oh, looks like a bit of damage. And it might have been another car in the barrier in the background as well. Yeah, hopefully he can recover from that, but the front end not looking too good, so I think he clobbered the wall quite hard there.
Yeah, looked like he was just nudged a little bit there toward the outside of the track. Unfortunate.
Yeah, he's now behind his teammate, so Monet Deploy, having qualified ahead of him, but seems to be struggling in the race, so maybe now that he's ahead he can get his head down. Let's see if Monet can actually progress up the field. He's got a bit of a gap, 7 seconds before Stanton. But this battle, yeah, definitely brewing. I think this is going to go on another 13 minutes to go.
Do you think Peter should have stopped there and given back that place, given what happened?
I didn't see the exact incident, so I'm not sure if Sean made a mistake or if Peter caused the incident, or if maybe one of the other drivers was at fault. I don't want to point any fingers, so we'll have to see what the stewards have to say afterwards.
Yeah.
But there is a gentleman's agreement that if you cause an incident, you should give back the place. And I'm sure Peter is aware of that.
It's also very difficult when the person who loses it completely. You know what I mean? It's not easy to give back the place when it's just like a little run wide and it's like, okay, cool, I can slow down a bit and give you back that spot. It's not easy when they've changed direction. So yeah, a real tough one there for the stewards to sort out.
We do still have some drivers in those instances that will give back the places, even if it's many places that are lost.
Yeah. It's always a tough call to make. Always a tough call.
In fact, yourself, Julian. Contact there between the drivers.
That was just a little bit of a racing incident, unfortunately. I think Peter Geldenhuys was just going a little too slowly through the corner and Stanton came up behind him. Because I was saying Stanton was actually staying quite well in touch there. You know, he managed to stick with that pack once they pushed past him.
Yeah.
So Stanton having to do a little bit of a recovery drive here now in the last 12 minutes. Oh, losing quite a few places. Peter Murray there, or Peter, no.
Now we have Monet Deploy up to 5th place. He's definitely benefited massively from these incidents. Now suddenly he sees himself top 5.
Wow. And his teammate Sean Olivier just behind him now. So maybe the two of them can make a go of it in the last 2 minutes, doing a little bit of teamwork. Hopefully Sean doesn't have too much damage. Sort of pull their way up the field. Certainly looks good, the two cars side by side.
Alright, so other battles throughout the field. We have Sean Johnson behind Andre Hildebrandt. He's within a second of Andre Hildebrandt. That's for 12th place. Just shy of the points. Unfortunately, Sean was in the points in race 1, not having as solid a result in race 2. Running slightly wide as well. We have 3 drivers with the DNF in this race. So Conrad Osman with the DNF, Harvey Koos with the DNF, and Carl Stieg with the DNF. Currently our top veteran driver, Marius van Wyk, is in 9th place. Marius having a good race, getting some points at least. That, I believe, is 2 points for 9th place, or is it 3 points? I stand corrected. So Rian van der Westhuizen currently sitting in 8th place. That's a solid position for Rian. Much better than what he had in race 1. But is the battle that is going further up the road. But that has left Peter Murray out on his own. Currently in 4th place now, no one else around him. The drivers around him are just sort of falling off the road.
I wonder what happened there.
Well, we did see Peter Geldenhuys and Stanton coming together, and then of course there was the incident with Sean Olivier, which we're not too sure exactly what happened. We saw the outcome.
I see. Yeah. Stanton's quite close, well, he was quite close behind Marius, but he seems to have also just come off and now has a DNF, so he must have retired due to some damage.
And of course we have our front runners, Jean-Louis Dutoit in 2nd place. They are still in the race, getting, is he going to spin? He does.
Whoa, Jean-Louis Dutoit.
Not what he needs. Is he going to lose
I was
second? He
just
is.
about to say he's gonna lose second to Jandre Dippenaar.
All right, so that's second
Jandre,
place.
sorry.
Oh, Jandre Dippenaar up to second place now.
So
Carrot out in front, just taking it easy, pulling away.
he's now got 10 seconds on second place now, so it's quite comfortable out there for the next 9 minutes, unless something were to go horribly wrong.
Like you were saying, he puts a lot of time in practicing. He definitely takes this a lot more serious than some of the drivers do. And some of the drivers were racing in other races before this race started, and I think that's definitely not helped those drivers. One of them was Jandre though, and he's definitely doing well, so maybe he's able to adapt from different types of cars a lot better. But the other drivers that were racing a totally different car before this, not doing well with the adaptation. But Peter Murray,
hopefully the
fourth
rest
place.
of the
Sorry, you were saying hopefully the rest of the season?
I say hopefully the rest of the season doesn't look quite as spread out as this, and it is a little tighter racing, which I suspect we will find as guys, come to grips with the car. I mean, look at the likes of Peter Murray flying along here, having a fantastic race, which is not to say what we don't expect, but he is running much further up the field than what he normally does, let's say. And that's a good sign. So maybe the grid can mix up a little bit here, and we will see some more people vying for the top positions.
Yeah, I think also certain tracks we're going to be racing at that we haven't raced at before. For example, round 2 at Monaco. We've never raced at Monaco. The street circuit like Monaco, I mean, it's one of the toughest tracks in the world.
It's going to be messy.
We did race Long Beach, but Long Beach is a much faster sort of flowing street circuit. Monaco is very tight and very unforgiving. I think we're going to see a very different sort of approach to racing there. And once again, Garrett did lots of practice when we had the server up to practice Monaco. He's the driver that did the most. I think he's definitely going to be strong there. And I think
that's definitely the guy to beat at the moment.
He's odds on. Yeah, he's putting the effort in. He's got the pace. He's there every time the server's on. You see he's on. He's putting the effort in, and it's definitely paying off at the moment.
100%. There's something else I wanted to say to you now. Anyway, sorry.
So looking back through the field, we have Stan Bezadnot in 12th place, so having a good race. Looks like he's in a bit of a pack here at the moment. Stan, I believe that's Andre in front of him.
Where's Stan in the pack?
Oh, and in the background we see Monet de Toy heading off into the barrier. Is that Dinesh
Stan
right
at the front of this pack. Stan is spinning a little bit, and that's Dinesh running with him.
Yes, and right in front of him we have a nice battle as well.
Nice. What I wanted to ask was, what does the drop down situation look like for this championship?
I think the drivers get to drop 2 rounds, so the two worst races they get to drop. Oh, the driver's getting very sideways. Sorry, getting distracted, and Stan getting very sideways. Is he going to spin? He is. Oh, that's unfortunate. Will he get it around?
But they were having a fantastic battle until that point. Oh.
And Dinesh having
that's what it's all about,
take to the grass as well. They're getting it all wrong. Yeah,
that's really what it's all about. Those good battles.
Yeah, and Dinesh getting the better of it there. Unfortunately for Stan, just getting on the grass and losing control. He was having a solid race. He's actually having a good round so far. Sometimes even if you don't get the end result, just having those battles just makes it feel worthwhile.
Oh, that's what I drive for. I can't win any of these races. Have you seen how fast these guys are?
Yeah, some of these races, just having that battle, even if it's for last place, having a good, solid battle, it just puts a smile on your face, and that's why I think the majority of us race.
No, 100%. I can often get bored if I'm just running alone, and I can often try and slow down to just rather have a battle with somebody than to just run a race alone. Ooh, is Dinesh pushing himself a little too hard there off the circuit?
Unless getting a little bit off the circuit there as well, as he's catching up, I believe, to Monet Deploy.
Peter Galden is having a very steady race, as we expect from him, just plodding along. One incident earlier, which wasn't his fault. Unfortunate that he came a little close there to Stanton. I don't think it was anybody's fault, actually.
Yeah, it looked like they just spun in sympathy to each other, maybe. The one was going and the other one
No,
maybe
that-
tried to avoid, and they ended up spinning together.
It might have been a bit of net code. It was in that, what's that section of the track? What's it called? Let me see. Valencia Alta, I think it is. I might be wrong. I think it's 14 and 15.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Aqua Minerale. Is that Aqua Minerale? That little where it like dips and you have to like.
Yes.
Yeah,
Down-
it is.
down the
That's
hill.
Aqua Minerale.
Pretty
Yeah,
running
that's
wide.
where they made contact. Ooh. See, that's the thing. This is the last 4 minutes. You can just tell tires are not what they were.
And Sean Olivier has got ahead of Monet Deploy, so Monet down to 6th place, Sean up to 5th. I wonder if that's a bit of team
Nice
tactics, maybe.
teamwork there. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they're sitting in the same voice together.
Andre Dupinot having a solid race, so currently still in 2nd place. With a 4.5 second gap over Gendre. So Gendre is actually coming back at him. So Gendre, having had that incident, spinning the car, knocking the front of the car, is actually slowly catching. As I say that the gap actually extended slightly, but it was 4.5. It's depending on, oh, we run slightly wide there. It's actually now up to almost 5 seconds, having just made
He's
a mistake.
definitely driving with a bit of damage, yeah.
Of course, seeing him with the midnight code, I'm not sure where Adrian Nell is tonight, but Adrian, of course, is signed up for the championship, so I'm sure we'll see him at later rounds as well. And I'm sure he'll be fighting near the front, giving them a hard time.
That should be exciting. That should be exciting. Quite a strong matchup, the two of them together.
A very strong team. You see a bit of a lock-up there for Gendre. Gendre does seem to be fighting the car a little bit more, and it's biting him a bit more. We see Gerrit sliding the car, but able to control it. Gendre, I think, is struggling a bit more with holding the car sideways. It seems to, there he's held it nicely there, but it's definitely bit him a bit more than what it has Gerrit. Gerrit definitely a bit more on top of the car. They both seem to have equal pace, or very, very similar pace.
I think a combination of the damage that he's picked up, as well as possibly just chasing a little too hard. Because Gerrit definitely knows, I think he's developing good racecraft in the sense of when to push.
Ooh, Andre Hildebrand just running wide there. Coming back onto the track. About to be lapped, I believe, by Andre Dupinot, and does indeed move over.
I must say I quite like the new PZN livery with a lot of black in it. Quite nice.
It does look much nicer than the previous liveries we've had. A lot more clean looking.
This black livery is also nice. Who is this? Andre Hildebrand.
Yes.
Classy. As he runs wide. Unfortunate.
Gendre coming up to lap him as well. Let's go on board as we're heading almost to our last lap. This might be some of the drivers' last laps. You can see Andre Hildebrand in front. Let's see how their braking zones differ. The Andre moves over. The gentleman that he is, he gives way. So Gendre, of course, 737, what Sean has dubbed the Boeing Brigade. His father, of course, is 777. Looking quite smooth there, so nothing untoward there. You wouldn't say that he's only in 3rd place with those lines. It doesn't look like he's particularly damaged, but it could just be losing a little bit of aero here and there, and it all adds up over the lap.
Yeah. Look, 3rd place is nothing to sneer at. It's just the first race of the championship. Ooh, running a little wide there. But getting away with it with track limits as set as they are. We weren't getting away with that in practicing in the week.
Ooh, and again, very, very loose there.
Ooh, very aggressive. Chasing very hard. Maybe a little bit unnecessarily so, but he's got, what's the space like behind him? He's got a lot of space behind him, so nothing much to lose. He could sort of lose it and still be quite safe from the pack behind him. Peter Marez, almost 20 seconds behind him.
Yeah, quite a large gap.
So maybe worth pushing a little harder toward the end here now in terms of his strategy.
Alright, so we are officially on the final lap as the checkered flag has come out. Or is that going to cross the line again? Have I missed it again? Have I maybe missed it again? Apologies if I have. In fact, I think it is race over. I've missed it again, so apologies for that. So we have Gerrit Beekers taking race 2 victory from Jandre Duppenaar. And in third place is Jandre de Tooy. Fantastic fourth place for Peter Murray. And I guess he is still in his final lap, so I can put the final lap up. Sean Olivier coming across the line in fifth place. Peter Geldenhuys managing to get the better of Monet Deploy. So Monet Deploy taking 7th place in the end. Rian van der Westhuizen currently 8th place. And Morris van Wyk actually getting ahead of him. So congratulations to Morris. And of course that is the top veteran spot as well. And then Sean Johnson will come home in 10th place for the final points position. So in the final sector, last 2 corners locking up slightly. Not too far ahead of Dinash. Dinash unfortunately running off in the background there. So Dinash maybe just seeing a chance of a point, just pushing a bit too hard in the final corner, and that's unfortunately ruined his chances. That will be the top 10 result for race 2. We're going to head to an ad break and we'll be back shortly with our overall top 3 finishers interviews, and we will find out from them how it all went. So until then, we'll see you in a moment. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are now live for the interviews for round one's Weldmech Porsche Supercup 2023 series. This, of course, brings us to the conclusion of round one from the Imola Grand Prix circuit. I'm joined by our top three drivers for tonight, which are Gerrit Bierkes in first place, Jandre Dippenaar in second place, and Jean-Louis de Toy in third place. Gerrit, you've had some amazing pace tonight, and you've definitely put a lot of practice in, and it seems to have come good for you. You had good YouTube support as well, so everyone was on your side, and everything just went to plan tonight. So how was the race from your point of view? We did see one incident between yourself and Jandre in race one, but I don't know what happened. We just saw the outcome of it. But overall, how was the meeting from your point of view?
Yeah, race one, basically, there was an incident with me and Jandre. He made a mistake into the second to last turn, and and then basically from there, you kept trying to keep pace and try to save the tires, and that was for race one. And then race two, Jandre was a bit slow off the line, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna push a little bit and see what happens, and I could keep a gap. So yeah.
Yeah, solid pace, solid race. You definitely were the most consistent in the race. We'll get to Jandre in a moment, but Jandre, a fantastic round for you as well. You seem to have had a lot of bad luck in our championships. Tonight was the complete opposite. Things went your way. You had excellent pace. You managed to navigate the traffic perfectly, so a solid race from you. You also had a race just before this, so maybe you were race ready because of that, but a fantastic round. How was it from your point of view?
Yes, tonight was quite a good round for me. First one in a long time that we turned out good. The race before this one wasn't that great. So I don't know, I just kept it on track tonight, and I think that helped me a bit.
I think this car definitely suits certain drivers a lot better than others. We're seeing a bit of a mix-up in the field. So perhaps this car also just suits your driving style with your rallying background. Maybe you're able to manhandle the car a bit better.
I do think so, but you do tend to burn the rear tires if you slide it too much, and then you can know you're a second off pace on that next lap. So we do try not to spin the rear tires, burn it.
All right, well done on second place.
Thank you.
And in third place, Jandre, a mixed bag of, I guess, results for you this evening. You had excellent pace in qualifying. The races just didn't quite go your way. Unfortunately, as Gerrit said, you made a mistake in race one. I wasn't too sure. We didn't quite see what happened, so now we know. Race two, you just didn't seem to have the pace of Gerrit, and then you had a bit of a spin as well. Unfortunately, you've got the overall pace. Luck just wasn't on your side tonight, so I presume you're going to be one of the top runners for the championship, but are you very frustrated with the spin that you had, having been in the fight for the win?
Yeah, no. During the week's practice, I struggled quite a lot with the rear end coming out on braking. So I thought I fixed the issue with the setup, but it seems in the race I didn't. So then I had that problem from the get-go when the tires started to go. And that's what happened in the second last corner. I just lost the rear end and I just couldn't get it back. And then with the second race, the same. I just keep struggling with the rear end. I'm losing it consistently and then I just can't get it back. So I'll need to see what I can do about that.
Yeah, the one spin that we saw, it looked like you sort of got into a slide, you counted it, you were holding it, and then it just sort of had that second phase of the slide where it just caught you and you went around. And unfortunately, you damaged the front of your car when you hit the barrier as well a bit there.
Yeah, no, I had a bit of damage and I struggled to... but I had that amazing pace. Even before my slide, I just couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, then back to Gerrit. Congratulations again there for Jandre. Back to Gerrit. Fantastic round for you. You've put a lot of practice in. You definitely had the pace. Just edging out Jandre in the race. Going into round two, Monaco, are you confident that you're going to have the pace to put in some more victories there?
I'm quite excited for Monaco, but I don't know about the pace-wise, but it's a really fun track to race, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure Jandre is going to be there. I'm sure Janneman is going to be there, so yeah, just bum and see time. That's it.
We were talking just before we finished the race about Monaco being a street circuit. The only other street circuits we've really done, we did in the GT3s, and it was a very different street circuit. a lot more flowing than Monaco is definitely a lot more. It's tighter, first of all. It's a lot more unforgiving. It's definitely one of the hardest tracks on the championship and in the world in general. So I think it's going to provide a bit more challenging experience, certainly when it comes up to lapping the back markers as well.
Yeah, and qualifying will be very important there. So yeah, because overtaking is next to impossible.
Exactly. So I think the guys that have a good qualifying that struggle in the race are going to be very difficult to pass. We also have Julian in commentary with us. Julian, do you have any questions for the drivers? Not sure.
How's it, guys? Not particularly. I thought it was a good race overall. Well done to everybody. Just generally, I mean, what did you guys think of the Porsche Cup in terms of, was it what you expected? Did guys fare the way you thought they would? Thought I'd see a lot more flat spots and lockups, which we didn't actually see.
Is that for, who's that for, Gerrit?
It's for anybody really that, maybe wants to give me their opinion on what they thought of the race.
Let's direct that to Yandre. Yandre, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into practicing. I know Gerrit that I think he talked about 1,000 laps offline. I'm not sure if I'm correct there.
Pretty much.
Then we also did a lot of practice yesterday in the race format. So we got a lot of information from that to know what we must do in the race.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close up now. So thank you and congratulations to our top 3 drivers. I'm going to kick you all out, but thank you very much and well done on your podium positions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So just in our closing, we're going to, just Julian and I will be here, get rid of that. So of course, that is our top 3 drivers done. Our next round is Monaco, as we've spoken. This is probably one of the hardest tracks in the world to drive. It's a very, very tight street circuit. To those of you that would be surprisingly unaware of this track, it's probably the most famous racetrack in the world, driving around the Principal of Monaco. Certainly not the easiest track with all the walls. It's a very narrow street circuit. It's a very tight street circuit. My favorite part is the swimming pool complex because it's the fastest. It's about the only part of the track where you can get up to high speeds, and the way you flick the car over the curbs is very different to the rest of the track. So that's my favorite part of this track. Very difficult to pass on. So I think what we've seen at this round, some of the drivers being up there, like, for example, Peter Murray having a solid round. I mean, 4th place in race 2 there, I believe. And if you're going to qualify in 4th place and you're going to have slow race pace, guys are not going to be able to get past you. The track is just too narrow. You just need to place your car correctly, and that's it. You've got the race. Unless you make a mistake, you're not going to get anyone coming past you. Julian, your opinions on that? What do you think? We're going to have a bit of a shake-up going into Monaco?
Yeah, look, I think it's gonna be as Monaco is. It's gonna boil down a little bit to your qualifying, but then I think you're gonna have to have the luck of the gods on your side, because any little incident on that track is gonna affect a lot of people, because it's so small. If we have the same numbers we had tonight, you can be sure that you're gonna be running into back markers a lot sooner than we did tonight.
We did also see quite a lot of incidents tonight. So yeah, incidents could become a thing.
Yeah. I think incidents. I think T1 incidents on Monaco, and especially down at the swimming pool, are going to be, they're going to be rife, and guys are going to have to sort of do a lot of management in terms of tire wear and stuff, because it's very bumpy as well. So it's going to be interesting.
I wonder if we'll see more penalties as well, because I think coming out of the tunnel into the braking zone to the chicane there, we might see a lot of guys getting caught out either by, as you come out of the tunnel, the way the road drops down and the back end of the car might come around. But even in the braking zone, we might see guys running on to avoid locking up and getting a penalty for that, for cutting the chicane.
No, 100%. I also think we're going to see a lot of damage. And I mean, even from possibly from some of the front runners, if any of the mistakes that were made this evening are made on a track like Monaco, you can be sure to pick up a bit of damage. And that's obviously going to affect everything. If you have back markers that have picked up damage, so you're going to see a lot more pitting. And I think if you don't have a pit strategy for next week, then you better start thinking about one, because you're likely gonna at some point want to just jump into the pits, do a quick cleanup, and come back out. So yeah, it should be interesting.
All right, so looking at the rest of the championship as well then. So next week, of course, we have Monaco. And then following that, we'll have Kyle Army, Silverstone, and then Nürburgring. And then we have a 1 week break. And then we'll come back with Spa, Suzuka, Zandvoort, Montreal, and finally Monza. So until next week, have a good week, everybody. And
Thanks,
we'll...
Dennis. Thanks for all the effort tonight. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but thank you, because Dennis is really the one that makes this all happen, guys. He's the maestro.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Catch you all next week. Cheers,
So,
everyone.
yeah.
Cheers, Julian.
Cheers,
Thank you.
guys. Bye.